Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching FANTAVISION, and today is another sort of Tales from Retail, because I'm going to be discussing something that really is a very prevalent thing in many stores, specifically a few, well, especially one in particular, and how it's both a good thing and a bad thing. Now, I know most of the time I'm just going over the employee perspective, but I do want to take a look at the business perspective as well today. Also today I'm drinking the Stone Die Hard Fan IPA, which is an IPA with mosaic hops, and it doesn't tell me anything about the beer in the back except for some long markety story, so I'm not going to read that. So anyway, what am I talking about today? I'm talking about on-receipt reviews. An on-receipt review is a review that happens to be on the receipt itself that you get after you buy something. Places like, I think Walmart has them. I know Kohl's does. I don't think Target does. It's hard to really think of another store that has them because no place stresses on receipt reviews as much as GameStop. GameStop, they go out of their way to circle everything on there, highlight. I mean, you get the thing back and it's just completely colorful. It's insane. It's just covered in highlighter, and there's circles everywhere, and there's smiley faces, and they are desperately hoping that you will go home and fill out that survey. Now, why do they want you to fill out that survey so badly? It makes sense from a business perspective why they want these surveys, why they have these on-receipt reviews, because reviews are huge to a business. There are lots of crazy stats I found while researching people's opinions and how reviews can affect businesses, and it's mind-blowing just how much a negative experience can impact a business. Now, the thing about negative interactions, negative experiences, negative emotions, these things are much more likely to be remembered than good experiences. Good experiences are expected and all that sort of thing, and you can think of it that way, but the real reason that negative experiences are held on so tightly is because of your brain. Your brain has a specific part that holds on to all negativity and all these different things, and it's called the amygdala. And the reason it's there is because those negative experiences and fears and things that are traumatic are things that your brain needs to hold on to help keep you alive. It's a thing that we've evolved to have in order for our species to survive. Back in the days as cavemen, I'm sure there was like horrible bears and stuff out there that were looking to eat us, looking to kill us, and we needed to know when to be scared of certain types of spiders and snakes, and all these different general fears that we have been implanted into our brains from the amygdala because that is what we've needed to know to survive. But because of this survival instinct being used now on modern problems, like having a bad experience at a store, it's going to be stored in the same place that bears, snakes, and all of those other horrible things are stored in. Let's take a look at a few points that really drive home this point on how a negative experience can just alter how a person looks at a business. When a customer is unhappy, there's a 91% chance they won't do business with that company again. That's huge. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but there have been plenty of times that I can think of when I had a bad experience at a store, I never went back. Had a bad experience with a company, never went back. All of these different companies that have either betrayed my trust in one way or have just had shitty people working that day, I don't want to go back to those stores because you want to avoid having a negative experience again, and your brain is telling you this company, this business, this store has caused this negative reaction. I don't want you to go back. It like almost kicks in a survival instinct. I don't want to feel that way again. I'm not going to deal with these people. Upset customers are likely to tell 9 to 15 other people about their experience. I think I'm proof of concept there. One of my first videos on this channel was me I was really pissed off because they had one person working at GameStop that day. The line was insanely long and there was no reason they couldn't have had more people working there. And I thought it was stupid. So I made a video and it got like 10,000 views or whatever at the time. And I'm like, holy crap, this is a thing. So I just kind of went into my experiences in retail, and there you go. I mean, this channel is fueled by my negative experiences with companies. And I know I've I've influenced a lot of people to not want to go back to GameStop, or if they are working in retail, I've helped motivate them to realize, oh my God, this is what I'm going through right now. This guy's just, preaching to the choir here. I need to get out. So all of these people out there have now changed the way they interact with these businesses because of one person who was unhappy with their experience. I'm a proof of concept of this. On the flip side, a good customer experience only leads to 42% of customers coming back to purchase again. I mean, that's still a pretty high number, 42%. But when you're looking at all those other numbers, 91% and telling 9 to 15 other people at least about their negative experience, all of a sudden it kind of puts into perspective how that good experience really didn't do as much. And I've looked all over the internet, and it's talked about how a good experience usually, it's only half the time will a person go out and tell somebody else, whereas a negative experience, almost 100% of the time, they will tell other people what happened and where. So there we go. Those are the reasons that businesses want reviews. And on-receipt reviews are a very convenient way of getting said reviews and figuring out how to fine-tune and make stores better. The problem is that convenience works both ways. Just like most people are going to tell other people about their negative experience, most people that have a negative experience are more likely to fill out a survey than people that had a good experience. It is incredibly difficult to get reviews when you're working at GameStop. Very difficult. Unless you have regulars that come in all the time and you can convince them to please fill out that damn survey, you're rarely ever going to get a survey. And if you do, it's most likely going to be a negative one, because that's most likely when a person is going to actually fill one out. And customers, as you know, and as we've talked about very recently, I think it was my last video, talking about entitled customers and how the customer's not always right, but they have it in their brain that they are and that they're entitled to the world. Store policy and all those different things that are written on the back of the receipt that they're filling out that negative survey for, they don't apply to them. None of that applies to them because they're the customer. They're always right. They always get what they want. Yes, that's not what the customer is always right means. That's not what was intended for it, but that's how people have taken it over time. People have become more and more entitled to not just perfect customer service, but beyond perfect by breaking the rules for the customer. And that's just not right. I have had to defend coworkers because they got a negative review. I remembered the exact interaction. I was there. Just because a customer's credit card would not work. I mean, this customer was such a worthless human being that because they felt embarrassed about their credit card not working and the employee just saying, "Do you have another card? Because this one's not working." That's why. That is the only reason this person got a negative review. I have also had negative reviews come in for other coworkers when somebody was trying to do that whole change trick. When they'd come back and go, "Oh, I gave you this amount of money, and you only gave me this amount." And you can tell, like, there's like this uneasy feeling with them, and you can tell that they're really just trying to screw you over. So you go, "All right, let me count the register, and then I'll get you back your change." Of course, they get all flustered, they make a big deal about it, and they storm out of the store, like, "Oh, I can't believe they stole money from me." When really, we count at the end of the night, the count is perfect, and they're just a dickhead. Another thing about these surveys is that it's just another thing you're pushing onto the customer. GameStop and all of these other places have enough things that they're already pushing on the customer. By really driving that home and forcing it down their throats, are you creating a good customer experience by doing that? I would argue you're not. I would argue that you're putting pressure on this customer now, and they're now having a bad experience. They may have had a good experience before, but now that you're shoving this thing down their throat, circling it 1,000 times, telling them about the gift card, telling them about how to get to the website, telling them how quickly it is, telling them where to find their, number on the receipt, and all these different things, now they're just kind of annoyed. And they're looking at you like, "Why are you doing this to me right now? We just had a good transaction. You helped me with everything I needed, and now you're doing this." I understand to a lot of people it's not a big deal, But I've seen that reaction from a lot of people. And I've had to apologize. I'm like, look, I get it. It's a lot, but this is just when we have to do this. This is the review system. And the thing is, it's even become more important now. At least for GameStop it has. Now there's like prestige stores. And you can only hit that if enough people do enough of these like questions on their computers and if they get enough good reviews. So now, along with reserves, GPGs, and the card, and I don't know if they still push the credit card, probably not. I don't know if they still have a credit card. All of these other things that they're pushing, just another thing is being added to that mix. And another thing is being added to the reason that people don't want to shop there. It just doesn't make sense to me. And you're putting that insane pressure. You know these employees are going to hound the customers on it. You know it because there's so much that weighs on that now. You want to be a prestige store. You want to be a prestige employee or whatever. You want to be able to rise the ranks to actually make any real money at all at your job. It's just too much pressure. It's too much pressure on the employee to have to go above and beyond, even past the rules of the store. And the thing is that the managers always seem to side with the customer when they should be backing up their employees. It doesn't matter how ridiculous the situation. I have gotten in trouble for defending my fellow coworkers against bullshit claims like these. And that's why I'm so pro-employee and so anti-customer a lot of the times when it comes to retail. I am pro-customer on everything else. I want to save you guys money. I want to protect you from shitty companies. I want to expose the companies that deserve it and the executives and all of these different things. I want to help out as many people as possible. But on that one-to-one interaction with people, it seems like negativity prevails. But you know what? That could be just that amygdala up there working. I mean, you don't have as much time to think if all you have to do to complain about somebody is just go on that receipt and just slam them. And like I said, a lot of people did that. And it was really sad to see. But overall, it was not the biggest issue. It's just that was definitely something that did happen. It was fairly regular that there would be a customer or two within the span of a couple months that would just rail on somebody for something that was not really their fault. And I would have to defend them, or I was not there to defend them, and I was not there for the situation, and they got pulled in the back and talked to like a child. When you're working in a retail place, it feels like the managers are your babysitters. It feels like nobody really trusts you with anything. It feels like it's just sad to see how managers treat employees. Over any little thing, you're getting pulled to the back, you're getting talked to, you're getting threatened with being written up. I mean, it happened all the time to the people that I've had on this channel that worked at Walmart. They were threatened to be written up, or they have been written up over stupid things because it's just a bunch of children. It's a bunch of immature people running these places, and these receipt reviews amplify and give them even more reason to overstep the power they have, to take advantage of the little tiny bit of power they have in their life and just reprimand somebody over nothing. So are these receipt reviews bad? I think they're just a double-edged sword. I think they're a helpful tool to monitor employees that are really bad, catch the bad eggs, but I think it's also sometimes used in a negative way and not the way it was intended. Just like, is the customer always right? Just like plenty of other things that companies have done that were implemented to make a better customer experience, but in the end, really fall on the employee and put more pressure on them in a job that is already very high pressure and high stress. So there we go. Let me know what you guys think about on-receipt reviews down in the comments below, what your experience is with said reviews, if you filled them out, or you know what, maybe you completely disagree with me, which is fine. This is just my opinion. Thanks for watching, everyone. Of course, leave a like if you guys liked it, subscribe for more content, and as always, have a fantastic day. See you guys. Also, since I'm back here, I've figured out the internet issue with streaming, so streaming is going a lot more smoothly. I just beat Ocarina of Time, so if you want to hang out and stream, seriously, I've been streaming a ton on here. Tune into the streams over here on YouTube. I'm not streaming on Twitch as much anymore. I'm mainly here just because I know a lot of you guys are here, and it makes it easier not to be on multiple platforms. That might change in the future, but for now, I'm streaming a lot here, so definitely stop on by. They're a ton of fun.